There's this specific feeling when you're deep in a conversation with an AI. It feels private. It feels enclosed. You're brainstorming ideas, or maybe you're venting about a bad day, or asking a really dumb question you'd be too embarrassed to ask a human.
It's the digital confessional booth.
Exactly. It feels safe. But imagine if, right in the middle of that confessional, a billboard suddenly lit up on the wall. Because that is essentially what is happening. The era of the purely free AI assistant is officially over. OpenAI has flipped the switch.
That's right. The rumors have been circulating for a while, but it is now official policy. OpenAI is testing ads inside ChatGPT. If you are a free user, or if you're using their new Go tier in the US, the interface is about to get a lot more commercial.
So let's break this down, because I think a lot of people assumed this day would come, but maybe didn't expect it to look like this. How exactly does this work? Am I going to get a pop-up video while I'm trying to write an email?
Thankfully, no, it's not that aggressive yet. According to their product updates, these ads are going to appear at the bottom of the response. So, you ask a question, the AI generates the answer, and then, visually separated below that, you'll see a block labeled Sponsored.
Okay, so it's like the ads on a Google search result, but at the bottom instead of the top?
Similar, but the context is completely different. And that's where things get interesting, and potentially a little creepy. See, Google matches ads to keywords. You type best running shoes, you get an ad for Nike. But ChatGPT matches ads to conversation.
Right. And a conversation is much more nuanced than a keyword search.
Precisely. OpenAI has confirmed that the ad relevance is based on the current conversation content. So, if you're planning a trip to Italy and asking for an itinerary, you might see an ad for a hotel in Rome or a flight package.
Which makes sense on paper. But what if I'm having a conversation that isn't transactional? What if I'm asking about, I don't know, relationship advice or medical symptoms?
That is the big question. Now, to their credit, OpenAI has stated they have guardrails. They claim there will be no ads for users under 18, and they are excluding sensitive topics like health and politics. So, in theory, if you tell the bot you have a headache, it shouldn't immediately try to sell you Tylenol.
In theory, being the operative phrase there.
Always. And we have to remember, this is a massive shift in their business model. For a long time, the product was the subscription. If you didn't pay, you just got a slower model. Now, if you don't pay, you are the product. They are monetizing the attention of millions of free users to cover these astronomical server costs.
It creates a weird dynamic though, doesn't it? Because we treat these LLMs differently than search engines. We trust them to be neutral synthesizers of information. If I ask for the best laptop for coding, I expect an objective analysis based on specs. If there's an ad underneath, doesn't that muddy the water?
It absolutely does. Even if OpenAI says the ads don't change the core answer, which they insist is true, it changes the user psychology. There's a concept in media studies called agenda setting. Even if the bot gives you a neutral answer, if the screen is constantly nudging you toward a specific brand, that brand starts to feel like the correct choice.
It blurs the line between assistant and salesperson.
Right, and think about the data aspect. OpenAI says they aren't selling your chat history to advertisers directly. They are keeping the data, analyzing it themselves, and then serving the ad. But to do that, the system must read and categorize your thoughts in real time to match them to a buyer.
So, my conversation is technically an ad targeting signal.
Yes, every sentence you type helps build a profile of what you might buy in the next 30 seconds.
That feels distinctively more intimate than a search bar. A search bar is a query. A chat is a stream of consciousness.
And that's why the privacy advocates are nervous. When you search, you're usually looking for something external. When you chat, you're often revealing something internal. Your logic, your preferences, your writing style. That is incredibly high-value data for advertisers.
It's interesting that the paid users, Plus, Pro, Enterprise, are exempt from this. It's creating a two-tiered reality. The wealthy get the private, neutral advisor. The general public gets the advisor who's secretly working on commission.
That is a harsh way to put it, but not inaccurate. It's the classic privacy as a luxury good model. If you can afford the subscription, you get to opt out of the surveillance economy. If you can't, you pay with your data.
And this is just the test phase. They mentioned these are simple link ads for now, but given how good these models are at language, how long until the ads become conversational?
That's the next logical step, isn't it? Imagine asking for a recipe and the bot says, this would taste better with brand X olive oil. Would you like me to add that to your cart?
Ugh, that gave me a chill.
It's coming. The infrastructure costs for AI are too high for companies to ignore that revenue stream. We are watching the transition of AI from a tool into a media platform, and media platforms run on ads.
So the takeaway here is enjoy the silence while it lasts. Or, I guess, get your wallet out.
Or just be very careful about what you whisper in the confessional booth. The walls have ears, and now those ears have sponsors.
A sobering thought to end on. We'll be watching closely to see how these sensitive topic filters actually hold up in the real world. Thanks for breaking it down.
Anytime.